Hey, what's up, social media world? So, listen, I'm coming on here trying to get some clarity around this question that I've been having about if people want to share their story or not. So, I'm curious to hear from you whether you're watching live with me right now or whether you're watching the replay. Like, how do you feel about sharing your story? Because I don't know where this like train of thought come from, but I'm building a community, right? And I have a private Facebook group. It's called Speaking Made Profitable, and I came up with that name because I'm like, man, there's a lot of people with stories that they can make money from that will give them resources to be able to share that story more to make a bigger impact, right? Like if their message actually matters, which it does, and the lessons that they learn and the pain that they've been through can help other people learn those lessons and overcome the pain before they have to experience the lesson or experience the pain. Then if they have more cash to be able to get a team to follow them and create content or to uh I don't know, get speaking engagements, like whatever. If they had a team that could help them advance their reach and their impact, like clearly our world will become a better place, right? Like I think about some people that I know who may not be in the speaking industry, but they've impacted my life. Like I've talked to them and their stories, I'm like, whoa, like that's crazy. Like people need to hear that because that's a good perspective to have. And it means more coming from you than coming from anybody else. So just let me know in the comments, like, how do you feel about sharing your story? Do you know that it can make that impact that I'm describing? Like, do you feel like it's valuable to other people? And if the answer is yes to that question, then like, why aren't you sharing it more? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna create this Speaking Made Profitable group. It's gonna blow up, and and it's not. And I'm not promoting it like I should be, but I don't want to throw gas on it because I care about the people who are in it right now, and I want them to engage more. And if you're in this group and you're watching, as a matter of fact, I should share it to our group. Um, if you're in this group and you're watching, like I accepted you in the group because I looked at your profile. I'm like, man, yeah, this person has a story I can tell. Like, it ain't got to be a trauma story, but it's like, hey, a real grassroots story, some lessons, some expertise. Like, man, I want to help you make that profitable because that's going to help you spread that message even more, right? And teach you some stuff about sharing your message. So, like, if you know that, then why aren't you doing it? Because there's people that's not like really, really doing it. So I'm like, okay, before I pour gas on this, let me figure out what it is that people really want. What's up, Justin? Doctor Mindset, Doctor Mose. I always say your last name wrong, man. I gotta like learn how to actually pronounce it. So, I lost my train of thought. I was talking to my guy. Y'all gotta follow the Mindset Doctor, man. He's a powerful human being. So, um, okay, where's I going with this? Oh, I've learned that some people just really don't want to share. Like they know that their story have impact, but they don't want to share it, right? And some of it is like, I don't want people to know this part of my life. Like I get that, and I think that that's the people that I have to stand up for, right? That you have to stand up for if you're a thought leader, contributor, if you do have a platform. And I don't know. I want to say there's like less at risk. It's probably not, but the whole Maslow's hierarchy of need thing. Like if a single parent is sitting there working and they have a job that's paying the bills for their kids, and I'm sitting here telling them to share their story because what they've learned about the struggle can help people in any area of life or any season of life. And they're like, yo, I can't really tell some of this stuff that happened to me. I can't talk about my me being abused. I can't talk about like the insecurities I had. I can't talk about how I'm really upset at baby daddy. Like I can't talk about whatever. And because I might lose my job or I might lose the relationship like circle that I have that's supporting me. So as much as I'm listening to you, okay, Speaking Made Profitable, Daryl, I can't start putting this stuff on the circuit because this will mess up some other stuff that I got going on. So like let me know like what I'm trying to figure out where the gaps are here. Like, why aren't people sharing their stories more, even if they know, man, boom, it can have an impact, and I can get some money out of this stuff, and money not for money's sake, right? Money is a tool, so I can get some money in terms of like I can get support financial support to put wings underneath my message. So like, I'm really trying to figure this out, y'all, and y'all got to let me know. I'm gonna check these platforms to see who's engaging, because I see it's people popping in and out, and I got to get a new streaming platform because StreamYard doesn't always show me all of the people that's tuning in and stuff. Like I'll be going over to LinkedIn, and there's people commenting and it don't sync all the time. So, anyways, bear with me real quick while I look up that. But I really want to know, if you're watching this, like, what are you doing to share your story? How do you feel about sharing your story? You know, do you feel like you're sharing it enough, putting it out there enough? Or do you feel like there's a whole nother level you can tap into? Like, that's really what I'm trying to figure out. And if you don't want to share your story, then why not? What are your fears, your concerns, your worries? Because I'm trying to crack this code right now. So did I not stream this? Oh, that's what's up. I didn't stream this to my personal page at all, y'all. I am streaming directly from my brand page on Facebook, because that's a thing. And I didn't know it was a thing, you know? So, like, I knew I had it, but I'm like, man, people still follow brand pages. I didn't even know that. You know, I thought everybody was on the personal Facebook page stuff, you know? So anyways, some people think that their story doesn't matter. You know, that I can see that perspective, but nobody ever says that to me, you know. Like, so I used to play that game, right? Okay, I thought that, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just telling you, like, I'm trying to bring this into my experience so that I can influence the people around me. So when I'm talking to people about, man, okay, my strategy, okay, I get it, man. You don't think your story matter. My strategy is to let you know that your story does matter, right? And by doing that, if you can believe in me that, like, your story does, because I'm talking to people, I got relationships, whatever, I got a following, then boom, you'll start sharing it more. And so I spent all this time and energy, like, helping you to see your greatness and helping you to discover that. And then you're like, oh, you're still sitting on your hands. So I'm like, okay, so you convinced now that it matters, but you ain't really doing nothing with it. So what's up with that? And so that's what I'm you get what I'm saying? So I agree with you that, like, that is a challenge people have. Where I'm stuck is that's not what's going to get people to start sharing their story. From my experience, if that worked for you, you got a whole different reach, whole different audience. But for the people I'm connecting to, I can tell them all of that, and they, like, get convinced of it. They believe it, like I know, but it's something missing. It's something missing, because I'm like, nah, man. If you really believe this like you do, boom, you should be moving. But people don't think that way, I guess, you know? And I was talking to my wife about this a little bit last night, and she was like, well, people aren't ready to be vulnerable. You know, people aren't ready to be judged. And that's kind of why I started this video with talking about, like, okay, I get it. If you at risk, your basic needs is on, like, if you go public, you might lose the very stream of income or relational support that you have. I get that. So I'm not mad at them people who can't really share their story because it's too much at risk. You know, if it's between your kids eating, and it's between you having your lights on, if it's between you keeping your company, that's your only source of revenue right now, like, you might not want to risk it. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't fighting for basic security, you know, that's where I'm like, you got to get to this contribution thing. You know, it's what, you know, that's why I like what you talk about. Justin, is moving from your comfort to your calling. Like, you know, people got to make that shift if their basic needs ain't in question and on rocky foundation. So that's a good perspective. I appreciate that, man. Who else? What's your fears around sharing your story? Do you feel like you're sharing your story enough? Like, that's what I'm here for right now, right? And I'm gonna read the comments, and I'm going to stream again, because I'm telling you, when I get what I need and figure this out and learn, like, what's gonna help people share the story, that's what I'm on, right? Because I see it. You know, it happened to me. I can't share too much detail, but I was in a community of speakers, and we were all sharing. And one of the things that I try to get to people is how many mindset hacks and how many like rituals and routines and disciplines that I have to employ to be able to get up in front of people and share my story. Because I tell people, like, literally, I hated the sound of my voice. I hated how I looked. So low self-esteem, um, low self-confidence. And I used to leave the room when people would do icebreakers, fake like I had to go to the bathroom so that they would skip over me and then come back after, my turn had passed, so I wouldn't have to speak in front of other people. Like I told you the story about when I strung headphones in my ear and tried to recite a cell phone recording of a speech, and because I didn't think I could really deliver it in real time. That's how deeply insecure I was. And I've got so many stories on stories on stories about that. And I'm trying to tell people that, like, I get what it's like to be afraid, but still do it afraid, because oftentimes the more competent you become, the more confident you become. So you get more skilled at it, and then you're like, okay, I'm not afraid of this anymore. I'll just do it because I don't suck at it. And so I'm trying to make that point of your story matters. Get out there and share, overcome fear. And then this dude, name, you might have heard of him, his name Jose. I hear him share about he's got a stutter, a real severe stutter. And then he tells people, hey, look, I got a stutter with my speech, but you got a stutter, inner stutter. And so he like, where I'm like hesitating with my words and it's coming out like this, you over here doing that with your life, your career, your dream. Like you sidestepping, you stuttering. And you got to overcome that and push through that to be able to get to what you want. And it's a powerful thing because that's what he's doing, 2-time TEDx speaker now. And I'm like, man, it makes me mad that when you say that, man, people are like, man, I'm overcoming every fear. I'm overcoming every struggle. Like, I'm stepping out there. I'm sharing my story. I'm getting past that inner stutter. And I'm like, oh, I've been saying the same thing. And I'm not hating on him. I'm not. I'm just saying that I'm telling you all of this to say that my belief is that each of us have a certain sphere of influence that I believe like we're assigned by God to impact, right? And the only way for us to do that is for us to step up and begin to share our story and our lessons, because each one reach one. Like, you can reach people that I can't reach, vice versa. So while I'm all for building my platform up and like more followers for Daryl, more community for Daryl, I'm like, that ain't how we change the world. We don't change the world by Daryl blowing up. We change the world by everybody stepping up to their potential. And so I'm trying to figure out how we do that, because there's people that's not stepping in this game, and they need to be in this game. Like, and I feel like so many of the coaches that I'm surrounded with, we all about stepping up, and I'm cool. I need that in my life. I need people that's gonna not be impressed, be like, Daryl, you got shadows in the back. I need people like that. So I'm not saying that there's not a time for when you in the game to go higher. Okay, you scoring 20 points. It's time to see if you can go 30. Okay, you done one hand, can you done two hand? What I am trying to say is, how do we get the people that won't even try out for the team, that won't even get out here and share their story, to participate? So I get it. Tell them that their story matters. Do it afraid. But I'm looking at you personally, you watching this, that's like, I'm not even going to comment because I don't even want to be real. I'm trying to figure out why you're not sharing your story. I'm trying to figure out why you're not in the game. I'm trying to figure out why you watching my live stream and not doing your own. Because I want you to watch my live stream. I don't like when there ain't nobody watching me, because that's not why I do it. I don't do it to just talk to myself. I can do that in front of a mirror. I'm trying to talk to you. So, watching my live stream and then go do your own. All right. So will you do your own? That's what I'm trying to see. Because if you won't, then why not? And if you will, but you only will do it for like a day, and then I see you in a couple weeks, I'm trying to figure out what that's about. You feel that I'm ready, but I don't know where to start. And I am afraid of public speaking. I am so self-conscious when I talk, especially on Zoom calls. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Real transparency. I appreciate that. That's vulnerability. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So you feel you ready. I'm like processing what you said, but I don't know where. Let me put this on the screen. So I want people to see this. I feel I'm ready, but I don't know where to start. And I'm afraid of public speaking. I am so self-conscious when I talk, especially on Zoom calls. So number one, don't leave my man's, my young lady, whatever. Don't leave them alone. Drop in the chat if you like. I can relate. Right. So I can relate. I've been there. I just shared that, right? You don't know where to start. Okay. Okay. Start with asking yourself, what do I want to say to the world? And when I say the world, I don't mean like you running for president, your stuff on national television. I just mean like if anybody sees what you post online, okay, let's just say that's what you're gonna do, post online. You don't have to start there. You can start with a conversation in your house. But what I want you to figure out first is like, what would you actually say? Because I want you to get clear on that. And when I say clear, I don't mean like you won't learn. Because right now that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out what I can say to help people share their story. Right. So, but I came on here and that's how so I wrote the description to this thing. I'm trying to figure out where it's at. It's probably on one of the platforms. Actually, I put it in my Evernote. So before I shared my message, I figured out what I wanted to say. So I said, "Do you want to share your story or not? Like, let me know." That was my headline. And then I wrote a description. I said, "I'm literally streaming just to find out how people feel about sharing their story. I hear so many mixed opinions, and people say they want one thing, and their actions show different. So I'm wanting to figure out what I'm missing, not understanding, so we can figure out what's going to really help our world move forward." Okay. So I determined my message before I put it to market. Okay. And when I say market, don't think business. Think whoever the market is, whoever you're trying to get this message across to. Okay. So figure out what do you want to say. And I think this is important because a lot of people that just start talking before they think end up creating damage. They end up copying other people. They end up saying stuff that they hear another person say. This is why. Okay, this is why. Oh my gosh, this is why I'm so and I like Grant Cardone. I don't know him personally. We have had some conversations, via Clubhouse, and direct messages on Instagram, but his whole 10x movement is great. Okay, whatever. What I don't like is people who keep using the 10x when they're not 10xers. And I was just telling my wife this. I'm like, I'm so sick of it, man. People trying to, I'm over here trying to see if I want to hire a coach or a service, I'm 10x your business, 10x your business. And I'm like, first of all, I can do math. I'm reading your results. This is not a 10x result. Don't tell me you're going to 10x my business when you're going to 2x it. Okay? Just say you're going to 2x it. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? A 2x is fine with me. Like, I'm happy for a 2x increase. Hey, look, the next person that say I can 2x your business and they real about that, I'm going with them. And so that's what happens when people don't think about what they're going to say before they say it. They end up just repeating stuff that's been programmed into their mind and not actually seeing that that's authentic to them. Man, I like how I just brought that together because y'all thought I lost my train of thought, but I didn't. So that's step one, my friend, Curioscope. Step one is figure out what you want to say. How do I do that? Okay. You look at your life, you look at you ask yourself, man, if I had to say one thing to the youth, if I had to say one thing to my coworkers, if I had to say one thing to my family, if I had to say one thing to my children, I don't know why. How is somebody calling me while I'm doing a live stream? That don't even make sense. If I had to say one thing to my children, what would I say? If I had to say one thing to the next generation, what would I say? If I had to say one thing to athletes, if I had to say one thing to entertainers, if I had to say one thing to Oprah, what would I say? and when you okay, I'll probably say, hey, listen, life isn't easy, but life is worth it. Okay, I would say that. All right. And why would I say that? So what would you say? Why would you say it? Well, why would I say that? Well, I say that because when people understand that, it'll help them not get so depressed when they when life isn't easy because they recognize that this is just normal and that they're not the only one. Okay, now we're starting to formulate a message. We get a what, we get a why. Now let's get a now what. All right. So this is what I want you to do. This is why I want you to do it. And what do you want me to actually do now? Right. What now? Like, what do I do now that I've heard what you want me to do, uh and I hear why you want me to do it? What's my next steps? Okay. Well, okay. Your next steps is to come up with a daily mantra that reminds yourself, hey, today might be tough, but I'm tougher. Okay. Today might be tough, but I'm tougher. So now you went from, hey, I want you to know life isn't easy. I want you to know this because it'll make life more fun and enjoyable, and you won't be so lonely and feel so isolated. And the next thing I want you to do is start doing daily mantras. Boom. Okay. So I don't know if you found that helpful or not. I actually liked it. Dear team, Stinson, like capture this moment because I want to clean it up a little bit and create it, but I thought it was helpful. So anyone else, like, why aren't you sharing your story? And do you feel like you are sharing your story at the level that you know that you can share your story? Okay. And let me know. And I'm probably gonna go for like another 2-3 minutes, and then I actually got to do some content, like some my Finish Friday stuff. So I'm gonna record the video that you'll see tomorrow for Finish Friday. And thank you. Okay, you loved it. That's cool. That's cool. Hey, shout out, Carl. I see you. I see you, Carl. I miss you, my man. Uh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, all right. So if you're just now watching this, I was trying to figure out why people aren't sharing their story, um, if they really want to or not, and what's keeping them from doing that. I want to hear from you. Like, if you too afraid to comment because you don't want nobody to know that you secretly want to share your story, DM me, right? Like I ain't gonna blast you. I'm literally trying to figure this out, and you'll understand all of that if you just go back and watch the video. Also, if you're not following me on YouTube or watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Every Friday, I'm releasing a video called Finish Friday. I believe life, we may not start well, but we all can finish well, right? And so Finish Friday is all about finishing well and finishing strong. And so subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's my first and last name, Daryl Stinson, because every Friday I'm releasing the video and it'll notify you when it gets released. So that way you can engage with it. Because if you do that quickly, like boom, I'm gonna like it. You ain't got to share it if you don't want to. If you want to, then cool, share it. That'll help too. But comment at least like your thoughts, your perspective. Even if you just like, oh, that's whack, whatever. Say that's whack, whatever. Because it don't matter what you say. All YouTube is like, oh, people care, and they want to keep you on YouTube. So they're like, oh, this guy helps keep people on my platform, so we're gonna show more users his content. And so if you just engage with the content, say anything, then boom. Chris Galloway said your TEDx talk was dope, bro. Hey, thank you. Speaking of the TEDx talk, man, actually I'm gonna get to that in a second because I want to make sure I close this time, because I want people to know that that's what happens when you engage with the content on YouTube. It starts showing it to more people, so you can help. Like, if you ain't out there sharing your story more, help me spread this message of what I'm doing with public speaking and storytelling. And because it's not about that, y'all. That's just a method. Public speaking is just a method to create change in the world. Excuse me. It's just a method to create change in the world. That's really what I'm about. I'm about, create change in the world, right? And I got to figure out a better way to say that, because my true heart, I don't feel like I need to change the world. I feel like I need to change the way that people see the world they live in, right? Because I don't think there's anything wrong with the world. I feel like we live in a world of abundance. There's enough money, relationships, joy, love, laughter to go around, that nobody should live in lack unless they want to. And so, but there's people that really are. And I think it's because we're not seeing the world we've been given. Okay. And when I really see, like, oh, there's enough, I ain't got to hold. I ain't got to be stingy. Oh, there's enough, I ain't got to be afraid. Oh, there's enough. I'm not out of options. And when people realize the world that we actually live in is more than enough, then oh, I see the world differently. Okay. Who I don't know who said it, but when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That's what I'm about. So speaking is just one way to do that. So if you rocking with that message, if that resonates with you, subscribe to the YouTube channel and just throw your boy a comment because it's gonna help it. If you do it in the first, as soon as you get the notification, just do it. It takes like 5 seconds. 5 seconds can help me reach 500 more people. Okay. That's how we change the world. All right. So TEDx talk was dope. Thank you, homie Chris Galloway. Appreciate that. Bro, comment on the video and share the video because let me see where I'm at right now. I need to do a whole second live stream. TEDx. Daryl Stinson. I'm close to 1 million is what I'm trying to get at. 931,000. I am 70,000 people away, views away from hitting 1 million. And man, I could not do that without y'all. And y'all, I want you. Keith Hunter says you are changing the world when you tell people your story. I so agree, my man. By the way, your profile picture looks amazing. And you look like you run 7 companies and some. So good job on the profile picture. Somebody said hi, what's up? I lost my train of thought. The TEDx talk. So 930,000 views. And I'm gonna do a separate live stream, y'all. I don't know when it's gonna be. It could be later today, tomorrow, next week, whatever. On like, what should I do to celebrate 1 million views? Because when we hit 1 million, I need to do something. Like I'm gonna do something. I don't know if it's giveaway, a gift card. I don't know if it's a free coaching pack. I don't know what it is, but I'm celebrating this 1 million because I set this. Okay, like for the first year that my talk was out, I did not like it because my shirt was so big. It's a whole nother story. I was so embarrassed by it. But I saw people were still watching it, and I'm like, man, and that might have been a conversation I had. So somebody convinced me. I give you credit. I just forget now. But I looked at it and I was like, man, I'm so worried about how I look that I'm not sharing this helpful content with people. And people watching it, what would happen if I really start sharing this like this? So that's what I did. And I started sharing it or whatever. And it started to take off. Like it really did. It was only at like 100, 200,000 and it started to pick up real quick. So yeah. I went ahead and did that. Yeah, and Keith got a TEDx talk too. So win the day. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I think I already watched it though, Keith. I think I already watched it. Yeah, so anyways, go check that out. Go check that out. And Keith, don't be promoting your TEDx talk on my thing if you ain't comment on my video yet. Like I don't mind you sharing. I will bring you on. I will interview you to promote your stuff. But I don't see your comment on my video. So I'm just saying, I want to see that. And then let's talk about how we can help each other out in terms of visibility. Don't be dropping links and titles if you ain't commenting on my stuff. That's just how I roll. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. I'm out for real. Appreciate you and stay tuned. We out here doing a lot of stuff and I know it's gonna come together. Okay. All right. Peace.